Okay, so now we're going to use either watercolors or markers. You can use your choice, but you do need to blend it with water if you use markers. I'm going to show you how that I'm going to draw a series of circles. You may either trace things that are circles, like this could be a circle. You don't want it to be too dark. I'm going to make it dark enough so you can see my circles. If you have a compass, you can use your compass to draw different circles. They need to be different size circles. So this one is too much the same size as that one, but this next one can be a little bit bigger. And they can go off the page too. I think I'm going to do it. I don't want it to run into that one. So let's make it that size. Now my paper is a little bit smaller. Y'all are going to use the bigger paper to do this. I wanted it to fit under the screen, under the camera. So you kind of want to fill up the background with different size circles. You don't want the circles too small, and you don't want them too big. This one. Okay, so I think you get the idea. I think I might have put a small one down here going off the page. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to paint a couple of these using either watercolor or marker. So I like to make it darker along the edges and get lighter in the middle of each circle. So I think we'll use red on this one. So I'm going to be very tight with my Crayola marker. It has to be Crayola or water-based markers. Cannot be permanent markers for this to work with this technique. Alright, and I like to go around the edges. Okay, so I might want it to get a little bit lighter, so I'm going to put some orange in it. And then I've got this peach color. Alright, then I'm going to take some water on a paintbrush. So I've got a cup of water, paintbrush, and then I'm going to be very intentional about staying inside the circle. You really don't want it to bleed outside the circle. So be careful around the edges of it. And you just want to blend this together. Okay, so then you have a nice looking circle that's got different values of red, orange, orange, yellow, orange. So those colors are next to each other on the color wheel. So now I'm going to use watercolor. I'm going to show you how to use it. Now the watercolors aren't as vibrant as the marker, so it's up to you which one you want to use. So I think on this one I'm going to do blue around the edge. Like I'm dipping it into the watercolors. This is my watercolor right here. What you do is you put a little bit of water in the watercolor color that you're using, and then paint it around the edge. If you'll notice, I don't pick up my brush until I'm either done with the line or I run out of paint. That way you'll have a very sharp edge. I don't pick up my brush until I either run out of paint or I'm done with the line. Same thing here. Then I'm going to gradually get a little bit lighter as I come in. And the way I get lighter is I just keep adding water to it. But you don't want your paper to be soaked with water, so you just add a little bit of water. And if you think it's too much or too dark, you can take your paper towel and blot it up some. Okay? All right. So red, yellow, I think I'll do just yellow on this one. Use my marker. And I think I'm going to put just a little bit of this peach. I think of it as kind of an orange around the edge of it. And here is where I'm going to use watercolor as well. So I'm going to take my watercolor tray, put a little bit of water in my yellow, and I'm going to blend this out. Make sure you got water on your brush. Okay. Now, you do not want to use your markers on wet paper, okay? So make sure that you don't use the water until after you're done putting your color, that marker on there. But it needs to be wet marker to be able to blend it out right away. So as soon as you get done with the marker from one of the circles, go ahead and blend it together. Don't do all the circles with marker and then go back and blend it, because it needs to be wet. So that's the way you can use it. I'll show you one more with just watercolor. Okay, so we've got red, blue, and yellow, which is primary colors. Of course, this is more orangey. I think I'm going to add a little bit of red to that to make it redder. Okay, so now I want to do, I think I'll do green. I might just do the secondary colors, orange, green, and violet on the rest of them. So I'm going to go around the edges. And then I'm putting more water in it as I go towards the middle. Okay, so there you have where it's lighter in the middle, darker on the edges. And remember, I don't pick up my brush until I'm either done with the line or I run out of paint. Don't pick up my brush until I'm run out of paint. Alright, so now I think I'll do purple over here. Yes. Which is violet. I'm putting a little bit of water in it. I don't pick up my brush until I either run out of paint or I'm done with the line. Every time I pick it up, it's going to wobble. Turn my paper around so I can get to the right angle. Like that. And then I'm going to put a little bit more paint on my brush and then more water as I go towards the center. And I'm trying to blend out the paint that is there. Okay. Now I'm going to do orange right here. So I'm going to do orange with my marker. Now you'll get a finer line if you just use the point. And notice I'm not picking it up and I'm doing long curves with it. So if you want to make it where it colors in more quicker, I turn it on the side of its point. You can't see. I turn it on the side of its point. And fill it in. Continuing to go around. Notice that I'm not going all the way across. I'm just going around the edges. Then I'm going to take the peach and color in the inside. And then I'm going to blend it together with water. I like to pull the dark towards the middle. Notice how I'm using my paintbrush. I'm pulling the dark towards the middle. All right, and also you can pick up some orange from the watercolors. I'm putting a little bit of water in the orange, and that'll help fill it in too. But remember, you don't want to rub the paper so much that it's going to get little fuzzies, and this is starting to get little fuzzies. All right, I still feel like this needs more red in it because I want it to have more of a red tone to it rather than orange, because I wanted to have primary and secondary colors on my picture. So you will let this dry completely before we do the next step. So I will see you in the next video.